Yo guys, I hope you're doing really well. In this video, what I want to cover is the main softwares that I use as an entrepreneur, but more so as a social media marketing owner and agency owner. Obviously, there are quite a few softwares that you do need to use just simply for just running an agency. Some of them are more it's just to actually help along the agency, whilst others are actually sort of necessary for the agency. So what I wanted to do was cover the best ones that I use for different things, for the scheduling side of things, contract side of things, stuff like that. So as I said, I want to cover the ones that I use because I do get asked this question a lot. By a lot of people asking, what software do I use for this? What software do I use for that? So I thought what I'll do is I'll make a video that covers basically everything in terms of all of the softwares and whatnot. So there's sort of seven softwares that I use. I've actually got them on my screen here. So I use Acuity scheduling, Clickfunnels, Hellosign, G Suite, Simple Invoices, Zoom, and Pipedrive. So what I'll do is I'll break them down individually. So the first one obviously being Acuity scheduling. Now I know there are a few others like Calendly and things like that, but I personally use Acuity scheduling. There's really no real reason behind it because I'm sure Calendly does all the same things. But with Acuity scheduling, you can set different appointment types and can make sure that I've got they're called intake form questions for my appointment for my clients. So for the back consulting discovery call which is what it's called for my clients when they schedule in a call with me, is I can put in a list of questions that they need to answer before the call. This allows me to go into the call with a bit more context on how much revenue they're doing, what their past experience is like working with other agencies and stuff like that. So I use Acuity scheduling. I use actually for each and every single one of these, I do use the cheapest plan for everyone, simply because it's more than enough. So I use the cheapest one for Acuity scheduling. I think it's $15 a month. $15 a month, I'm pretty sure. So that's what I use for my scheduling, for the scheduling aspect of my agency. Obviously I have a coaching business on the side as well, which obviously I'm sure you guys know, where I help other people. I help other people actually start and scale their own agencies as well. And once again, I use Acuity scheduling for that. I've just got a different appointment type, obviously called like coaching. So that's what I use for the scheduling side of all of my different businesses. So yeah, that's the scheduler I use. Now the next thing is Clickfunnels. Now obviously I'm sure everybody knows what Clickfunnels is. I use that for my agency website and agency onboarding funnel. When I sign on a new client, I've actually got a really streamlined onboarding process that they can go through. Instead of going back and forth over the course of say 30 days, which is, I know most agencies run like that. There's no real process put in place. At Bax Consulting, we do have a very streamlined onboarding process, and I actually use Clickfunnels for that. So agency website and onboarding process is done through Clickfunnels. Now Clickfunnels is, I think, around $99 a month. I'm pretty sure it's at that mark. So it is a little bit more expensive. But obviously, that said, you don't actually need an agency website when you're first starting out with, on your social media marketing journey. All of my students, I don't actually recommend them having a website when they're trying to get their first, say, 1 to 2 clients, because simply there's no need for it. I think I had 3 clients. I'm pretty sure I had 3 clients before I started my, creating my website. So as I said, you don't need Clickfunnels, but that is another software that I do use within the agency. Next one is Hellosign. So that's basically the contract software that I use. I used to use DocuSign, but I actually transitioned to Hellosign simply because it's much more streamlined, and I just prefer sort of the interface of it all. I think that's $13 a month from memory. I'm pretty sure it's $13 a month. And obviously, like I say, what I can do is create sort of an evergreen contract within Hellosign, which basically allows me to really streamline my onboarding process once again. I don't need to keep re-updating the contract every time it's a new client or whatever, because, as I said, I created an evergreen contract within Hellosign. So that's why I like Hellosign. Plus, as I said, the interface is much more sort of user-friendly as well. So that's Hellosign, that's what I use for my contracts. Now the next one is G Suite. Now I know probably most of you will know what G Suite is. Basically it's, for those that don't, that's where my domain is held, is within G Suite. My email, my work email, which is kai@baxconsulting.com. That's all held within the G Suite sort of ecosystem. And they also have, say, like Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel and all that. Google actually have their own versions of all of that, Publisher, etc. So that's all held within the G Suite sort of ecosystem, as I said. So as I said, I use G Suite for my domain, my work email, and I also use all of they're called Google Docs, Google Slides, Excel within Google. So that's what I use G Suite for, and that's $6.99, I think, $7 a month. So that's quite cheap for what you get. And then obviously, if you buy a domain, then that's on top of that. That's a yearly fee. But yeah, as I said, $6.99, and that's what I use for, as I said, all of my sort of word processing tools is G Suite. The next one are Simple Invoices. Now this is one of, if not the best invoicing software. I highly recommend that you use it. Bear in mind I don't have any affiliate links or anything like that. I won't be actually linking any in the description below, because you can just go and search them on Google yourself. I don't have any affiliate links, and so this is just genuinely what I use, and it's what I highly recommend. I tell all of my students to use the same softwares, simply because they're not only the cheapest, but they're actually the best. They're the best softwares. As I said, I've used quite a lot of different ones for each aspect of it, invoicing, the contracts and whatnot, and these ones that I'm going through in this video, they are the best ones out there. So as I said, Simple Invoices is the next one. Now this is simply the best invoicing software. The interface within Simple Invoices is very easy to use, and it's just very streamlined as well. You can set up monthly subscriptions for your clients, so it automatically sends out it's automatically every single month sends out the invoice to your client, and it actually automatically pays the invoice from the client's bank account straight into your bank account. Once their card is on file and it's it's within the system, you can just automatically bill your clients every single month, so that they don't have to think, they don't have to manually pay or anything like that. It's funny, a lot of my students actually come on board with me and they're actually manually invoicing their clients every month. Obviously that's going to create a ton of friction, with the clients having to take that 15-20 minutes every month to pay you. Not only is it taking up their time, but they can see how much they're paying you every month, and more often than not that will actually result in your client leaving you. Thing is with Simple Invoices is that, as I said, they never even think about having to do it, because it's all fully automated once their card is on file. So that's what I use for my invoicing, is Simple Invoices, because it's simply the best invoicing system. So as I said, that's what I use for my invoicing, and I highly, if you take one software from this video, and use it for your own agency, make sure it's Simple Invoices, because it's absolutely the best. Next thing is Zoom. So obviously, as most of you guys probably will know, I'm actually in the e-com niche. So obviously all of my calls need to be remote. I can't, just go down to the local, go down to my local dentist if I was in the dentist niche and have a face-to-face meeting with my clients, because as I said, they are literally scattered all over the world. I've got some on the other side of Australia, to where I'm based. I've got some in the US, and I've got quite a few within Europe and England, etc. So obviously I can't have face-to-face meetings, so I need to have mine remotely, and I do it all through Zoom. Simply because Skype, Zoom's much more professional, and it's much more accepted within sort of the business world, as well as sort of the more corporate as well. As you start going up the chain, A lot of corporate businesses actually use them as well. So it's, you know, it's just much more streamlined for both parties involved, for myself and obviously the client as well. Now, the second to last thing, I've actually not got one on there, which is Slack, but I'll get onto that in a minute. The next software that I use is Pipedrive. Now, for those of you that are my students, you'll know that I heavily use Pipedrive for the outreach aspect of my business, because it's very, very good to organize all of your leads. Everything's in place. With Pipedrive, you can, you know, have your columns and you can literally just click and drag and drop each client into the respective column, you know, in terms of where they're at within the outreach process. So if you've just brought the lead into your sort of outreach system, if you just brought that in, then obviously they're going to be in the first column. You've not made any contact. And then, you know, with me and my students, actually, we have a 4-part email follow-up sequence. Well, 4 parts email sequence. So what we can do is have contact 1, 2, 3, and 4. You know, we can just literally drag and drop the lead as into the respective column at where they're at within the process, and it just allows me to see from a bird's eye view where I need to sort of fill out and bring more leads in, and it just makes sure that I don't mess up, you know, send the same email twice to one lead or miss an email to a certain lead or anything like that. Just allows you to keep your outreach system very, very organized, which is vital when it comes to, as I say, when it comes to outreaching to your prospective clients. Now, as I said, the last one that I've actually not got on the list is Slack. This is the communication that I use for all of my clients. What it does is it allows us to keep all communication in one place for our whole entire agency. You know, if I had clients emailing me, messaging me on Facebook, messaging me to my personal number, I don't know, you know, on Slack as well, on Skype maybe, I don't know. You know, if I've got all of these different clients messaging me on all of these different platforms, what that will eventually lead to is me forgetting about a client's problem or message or whatever it is, missing them and whatnot, because, you know, I forget to go back onto the other one or whatever the case may be. It just becomes a real mess if this isn't in place. So, you know, in order to stop that, what I do with all of my clients is I set up their own channel within Slack, which is just a communication system. Once again, it's widely accepted within the business world. A lot of people use it. So it's just, once again, much more easier for both parties involved. And once again, it keeps all of the communication in one spot. So, you know, for me, my agency and, you know, my contractors and whatnot, we can all see exactly where the messages are coming in from, and we know we only need to focus on Slack, and we'll cover all of our clients on there instead of trying to get onto all of these different platforms, and, you know, it's just going to lead to a mess that way. So as I said, they're the main softwares that I use for my agency. Once again, I've got no affiliate links for any of these. This is just simply what I use. You know, so I recommend highly that you start using all of them, because, as I said, they're the best. They're the best softwares within each area of the agency that you need. They're the best softwares to use, so I highly recommend them. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it was informative, and I will see you in the next one.